The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather round the pit with your hosts, Johnny Maggs and Greg the Barbecue Broker DiGiorgio. Let's talk barbecue.
Let's. What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast, where we talk about everything about barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around the pit. As always, I'm joined by the Barbecue Broker.
My dude.
What's happening, my man?
How are you?
Dude, I am friggin' cold. I could not shake it today. But that's because it was like 55 on Saturday. And then, oh, by the way, here's 10.
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, on the bottom of the smoker.
I got
icicles.
Icicles this long on the bottom of my smoker this morning. It was legit 7 degrees when I woke up this morning.
And you know the worst part? It's going to be almost 60, if not low 60s on Thursday.
But the funniest part of it is try to get your kids to leave the house for school with a jacket on, as cold as it is. They still don't want to wear a jacket. They're leaving the house in socks and Crocs.
Live and learn.
With sweatpants on. And, a sweatshirt with a hoodie, and they're out. Like, no, Dad, I'm not wearing a jacket. That's dumb.
Okay.
All right, well, put some sneakers on or something. You're wearing socks and Crocs to school?
Hey, he's let him.
Whatever it is.
Let him.
Whatever it is, man. So, anyway, how was your weekend?
Still
you do, what'd you cook for the Super Bowl?
Just a couple little things, Did a little queso dip action, some
I did
wings.
same.
The little picky things. Nothing too outrageous, The Super Bowl's a grazing day.
Yeah. I'm a fan of lately putting I smoke chicken thighs, boneless, skinless thighs, and I add that to the queso dip instead of the meat. Mm-hmm. Try to do like a more of a white meat one. But I hear that breakfast sausage in a queso dip. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't tried that, but I heard that's a game changer.
Oh, it's awesome.
Who does that we know that we talked to recently? I feel like I just came
across
it
There's so
recently.
many queso dips. But
a lot of queso dip recipes.
But yeah, the breakfast sausage is really popular in the queso. Oh. It's phenomenal. Because you just get that extra seasoning from
the maple. It's probably dope. And we're doing that. We at our pop-up this weekend coming up at Idle Hands Brewery in Malden.
You got a pop-up this weekend?
Another one, yeah.
Well, obviously... How was the one last week?
So we had a pop-up last week. Of course, that is the pickup ones we do with the Elks, right out of our kitchen. And that was great. We did all 100. We served all 100 plates between 5:45 and 6:30. 100 plates out the door, Chrissy.
Wow.
And then we had about 12 extra plates to make for people that... We had a standing room only section, John.
Oh, nice.
I kid you not. There's people standing in an area waiting to see if I actually had leftovers.
Oh,
I only sold 100. I bought enough meat already for 100, but
I thought the meat you cooked were very delicious. They were fantastic.
Oh, did you have some?
Yeah.
When did you have some?
Oh, you were inside. I know where the smoker is. I go and help myself on the way back to the office.
I love it.
I don't wait in line, son.
I don't know why you don't stop by for a plate before you go home. I'm going to hook your ass up anyway. But, no, it was great. We had a great night. And this weekend, we're going to do a new menu we got going on this week.
New. Not just a new, but a new
menu. Look, obviously, we're going to have the chopped brisket sandwich because people want that back. So the chopped brisket's coming up. But Rachel was like, I need a break from mac and cheese. So we're doing a smoked meatball on a Mexican street corn. 2 giant smoked meatballs on Mexican street corn, and we're doing the chicken queso dip. So it's going to be a good Saturday.
Nice. Daddy Dutch, what's up? Randy, brother Randy's in the house.
What's up, boys?
Terry, what's happening? Gray. Dave Pelletier, my brother, what's happening? Claudia, Chrissy.
Hi.
Hey, Chrissy.
2 places at once.
Chrissy,
very impressive.
Thanks for joining us, Chrissy.
You're welcome.
Jeff, what's happening? Andrew.
Is that
Joe Tucker, what's happening?
Is that Jeff Nelson? Who was in there? Jeff Wepner. Oh, okay.
That's the judge, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what do you want to do? Want to get into this or what?
Yeah.
All right.
We're here anyway.
Today's show is brought to you by Uncle Steve's Shake.
I know him.
Hey, he's everyone's favorite uncle. You ever wonder why people are lining up to get into your neighbor's house? Bet when you light up, no one's coming. The reason for that is your neighbor's using Uncle Steve's shake, and apparently you're not, which means one thing, Chrissy.
You better get you some.
Damn straight, Uncle Steve's shake is handmade, uses only the finest ingredients, and comes in 12 amazing flavors, including their amazing dessert shake. If you can eat it, Uncle Steve has a shake for it. And if you have any questions, Uncle Steve has fantastic customer service. They'll walk you through all your shake needs. It's time to take your backyard and your competition game to that next level with Uncle Steve's shake. Shake some on everything. UncleSteve'sShake.com. Try it, use it. And this episode is also brought to you by
Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether we are barbecuing or not, we always keep the smoke rolling. Thanks to our friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today, look at the size of that.
It's a monster
We are
cigar.
smoking the Nesta Miranda Special Selection. Absolutely delicious.
Selection.
Thanks to our friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. We get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit TwoGuysCigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2, GuyCigars.com. And also,
Backline Fabrication and Backline Smokers out of
know him
Austin,
too.
Texas. As you know, I just love my backline. It is an extension of myself. That's what Ryan Newland does when he builds you a custom pit or a live fire device out of his shop in Austin, Texas. He takes the time to understand what makes you tick, what you like, what you don't like. No two pits are the same. They're totally customized, and the possibilities are endless. Check Ryan out, backlinefabrication.com. He's doing some amazing things. I still am waiting to put my order in, which I will do soon for his multi-tool device, which I know, Dutch, you've cooked on, and is amazing. So
it's badass.
And also, today's episode brought to you by one of our newest, but not so new anymore, members of the family, Al Infante's.
Al Infante's Magna Chef gloves, guys and girls. These are the best gloves out on the market, in my opinion, and they've been put to the test at the Royal and everything. All the boys have been trying to mess these gloves up, and they cannot.
Nope.
But these gloves, Al is a Miami-Dade firefighter, so he knows a little something about heat.
Fire protection.
Fire protection, yes.
Yes, sir.
But the thought in designing these gloves, he went all out. Food-grade silicone, patented magnetic clips. You ever take a pair of gloves and try to get them off? You're fumbling around with your proteins on the... And next thing you know, it slips and you got a $200 brisket go flying on the thing because of these prices today.
I've had it happen.
Oh, well, now what are you going to do? Now you're just down 2 beans.
Can I say they're super easy to
Not
clean?
with these.
They're super easy to clean, too.
Click them right in.
Yep.
Slight twist. Comes right off.
Even your meat hooks come
Even
right out of them.
my
His
meat
big,
hooks.
sweaty meat
And
hooks.
then right back in, you're good to go. Perfect.
Yep. Best of all, though.
Easy on and off.
Yeah. Best
They're
of all.
also heat rated up to 500 degrees, web fit,
But best of all.
for her pleasure, for firm grip, one size fits all.
But best of all.
Where you going with this?
In America.
Dishwasher safe, but best of all, Gregory.
Made in America.
There we go, right here in the U.S. of A.
America.
So get yourself a pair, but once you get a pair, you're really going to want 2 or 3 because you're going to want one for the backyard. You're going to want one for your competition trailer. You're going to want one for inside the house, in the kitchen. All the uses. You always want to have them hanging around. You can get yours at magnachef.com. That's MAGNECHEF.com. And at checkout, use code ROYAL21
I believe
for
that's correct.
15% off.
Yes.
Links in the description.
Links in the bio or description. Bio description.
Bio description.
Bio
It's like
description.
degradable, but different.
Yeah.
What's up? We're already getting some call-outs in here. Big Rome's getting called out.
Whoa!
Mad Max is calling people
Mad
out.
Max. Big Rome. Ooh.
What's up, Salinas brothers?
Robert Rocha. Ooh.
Who he says?
From the So Smoking Goodish show.
Oh, hi.
Awesome show.
Well,
What's up, fellow podcast brother?
Absolutely. He's a great guy. Rob Doherty, what's up? Will Blanchard.
Are you ready to get into
Let's go
the brass
tacks, as I like to say.
Yes.
That is starting to grow legs on its own.
It is. We need to get shirts, yellow T-shirts. And everyone knows why yellow.
The yellow
if you watch
V-neck.
the show,
Good Lord.
the
Only medium size.
yellow mediums for everyone, no matter your size. It's a yellow.
Junior, what's happening? But today, guys, this is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be joined by, I don't know how we want to put it, author, pit master, competition cook, restaurateur, golf rep. We'll get into that. That's a little twist in the story here. But guys, joining us from Leawood, Kansas, the owner of Meat Mitch BBQ Restaurant, the one and only Mitch Benjamin. Mitch, what's happening, brother?
Mitch.
How are you, boys? Thanks for having me on Pit Life BBQ today. I'm excited.
Man, thank you for taking the time to join us here, man.
Absolutely.
So, how's everything down in Kansas?
Well, I don't think from listening to your conversations earlier, it's not quite as cold as what you're enduring right now. I think we've got about 50, 55 degrees. People are actually out on the links today without any problem.
Oh, there you go. Well, I can't wait. Can't wait to start swinging them again.
I know. This is very true. So, yeah, it's cold as hell here for sure.
But hey, it's February in New England. What do you expect?
But it's going to be like 50 at the end of the week again.
Yeah,
so
they'll probably give us another, have zero again.
Typical New England. That's why people get sick. It's like 0, then
Give
it's
it 5
50.
mints. It'll change.
Exactly.
And it's got to be even colder with the Patriots not being in the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
Hey, you know.
there it is.
Oh, shots
And
fired.
there
But my
it
Chiefs
is.
didn't make
I
it
think
either.
we're-
Shots
Make
fired.
it.
Shots fired.
But
I think we're losing the connection.
our very own Richard Seymour, all-pro defensive end, he got the old knock on the door this weekend to welcome him into Canton, Ohio, home of the National Football League Hall of Fame.
I saw that.
So that was well-deserved. He gave us a lot of great years. Then he had a couple nice years out there in Oakland.
Yep.
Afterwards. But, congratulations to Mr. Seymour for the call to the hall.
Yes. Hey,
But,
Jason Power, what's up, brother?
Jason, what's happening, Pipe C? So, Mitch, we start out always the same way. Who is Mitch Benjamin, first of all, and how did the transformation from Mitch Benjamin into Meat Mitch happen? And your barbecue journey, I guess, along the way.
Yeah, so I actually grew up on the East Coast. I went to Penn State and I graduated in '94. And shortly after that, I got my job at TaylorMade Golf and I moved to Kansas City. And I didn't know anything about Kansas City at all, but quickly found that barbecue was kind of the fabric of the community. Shortly, I was introduced to the American Royal Barbecue, which I'm sure you guys have been to, which is not only the largest competition in the world, but the largest party in the world and an absolute ball. So I got into cooking through my next door neighbor who he had a pool, he had a refrigerator full of beer, and he had a smoker that was always rolling. So you can imagine I'd pull into my driveway and go into his house rather than mine and kind of hang out and get some tricks and figure out what was going on. And I got the bug just going to the Royal, having so much fun. I mean, you guys have seen there the smells, the sounds, the excitement. So I entered the next year. I bought just to have the party, really. I wasn't that consumed with the smoking at first, but entered my first American Royal in the year 2000 and have been competing over 2 decades, not only in the Royal, but Memphis in May, regionally throughout the country, even been over to New Zealand to compete in meat stock 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Just got the real bug. So transitioned eventually here a few years ago from golf to full-time barbecue. And here I am talking to you boys.
No, so what did you do in the golf world? Because you said you got out of college and went to work for TaylorMade.
So I was a sales rep. I had like the state of Kansas and the state of Oklahoma. So you travel around and you go to all the country clubs, the big golf stores, you name it. and you sell drivers, putters, and tigers and bears. You just have fun and with golf pros and stores, and you go to tournaments and you play golf and shoot the shit. Just like barbecue.
Oh, it is. And in the Pipes, Jason Powell just said, golf and barbecue, the perfect combo.
I mean, barbecue brings people together, and once you get together, play some golf.
Barbecue can be frustrating in hell. Golf can be frustrating in hell. Oh. Golf takes a while. Barbecue takes a while.
They both.
You
get frustrated doing both of them.
You can include some alcoholic beverages in there, a couple cigars.
Right. You're not working if you're playing golf and barbecuing.
Absolutely.
Very parallel activities.
Dog father himself is in the chat, Brother Alton.
Alton, what's up, my man?
Juke, what's happening, brother?
Juke.
So you've had, like you said, you've been competing for 20 plus years. Now, what got you out of, you got out of the golf game, so to speak, and then into barbecue?
You got the bug.
So I got the bug, and I started to have a lot of success, and started to come out with my own line of sauces and rubs. And then in 2012, the All-Star game, the baseball All-Star game, was here in Kansas City. And George Brett, who I got to know very well through golf, the Hall of Famer and Kansas City icon, he proclaimed me the barbecue ambassador of Kansas City to the All-Star game.
No,
so that was 3 nights in a row. They have the Celebrity All-Star game Sunday night. They have the big home run derby Monday night, and then the actual game Tuesday. So it was so much fun. There's so many stories, and I got a lot of press, and I was feeding both locker rooms, home and away, and doing burn ends and pulled pork and ribs and sliced brisket, everything.
That's a dream right there.
And so during the home run derby, George is walking up to the field with the Baseball Tonight team. It was like Nomar Garcia Pera, who you guys are familiar with. It was Kruk. It was, a whole litany of those guys. And he said, Mitchy boy, he goes, grab a pan of those ribs. Let's go up to the field. So I'm like, right on, Podsy, let's go. So I went, got some ribs. We get escorted out onto the field. And Boomer, you remember Boomer? Back. Yeah. He's there and everyone. And he puts the ribs down. John Kruk, you know him from Philly, grabs the ribs, just starts mauling them. There's sauce all over him. Adam Jones from the Orioles comes out of the dugout, grabs ribs, and starts saying, these are the best ribs I ever had. I mean, it was hysterical. And I'm standing there. There's 6 million people watching this thing. It was fantastic. They ultimately put Kruk's eating the video to the soundtrack of Chariots of Fire that went viral, which was pretty funny. And just a lot of fun and excitement. And the brand kind of really started to blow up. And everyone was like, Mitch, we're not at competitions. We can't try any of your food, and we don't play Major League Baseball. We can't try your food. Like, why don't you open up a restaurant? So next thing you know, in 2014, I opened a restaurant with 2 partners here in Kansas City called Char Bar.
I think we had a few connection issues here.
We'll
stick with
breaking up just a little bit.
The dive into barbecue, and here we are.
You broke up a little bit. So the Char Bar was the name of your restaurant?
The group.
Yeah, Char Bar. It's in Westport, which is right off the plaza in the heart of Kansas City, and it's about 6,500 square feet inside, and then we have another 10,000 square foot we call our barbecue playground that has bocce ball, ping pong tables. You throw the bags, picnic tables, big bar, music, string lights, the whole deal.
That's inside your restaurant?
Yeah.
What?
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's almost like breweries have like stuff like that going inside. A lot of times they have a little like areas and stuff to like play in adult.
You see a lot of cool stuff in Texas. I loved all the stuff in Texas. Now their weather's a little better, so you can enjoy the outside more year round. But we get pretty good action here in Kansas City. We're gonna have to get you out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've never actually been to the Royale, but we're that's on the list. That's on the list for sure.
So that should be number 1 on the list.
I know. What is the so at what point you probably started out using, similar. Everyone kind of uses very similar sauces on the comp circuit, mixing their old Blue Hogs with their own sauces or their own glazes, or
Sure.
Everyone's looking for this certain flavor profile, and
you named it. You nailed it.
And you start winning with the old stuff, or at what point did you say, hey, I'm doing okay with this stuff, but I got my own stuff and I need to start putting it out there? At what point did you make that transition over to your stuff, and how were the results when you first started doing it? Did you get them right away? Did you have to wait a little bit for it to come?
So I was, just like you said, I was trying to mess around with some of the stuff that everybody else was using, type thing. And, in between beers, when you're out at a contest for the weekend, you got a little time on your hands. So you might as well just tinker around and mess around, and came up with our own, what we felt was flavor profile and look and feel, and went to a co-packer in Kansas City, and they have like test kitchens. I think these types of facilities are available to everyone across the country.
That's awesome.
And started to just knock out my own sauce. And the first one was my Womp Sauce. And we went to the Wild Blue Kansas state competition, and used it on everything, and just held our breath and won Grand Reserve. And we're high-fiving and having some fun. And it's been a whirlwind from there. I mean, we now have 6 sauces and 3 different rubs, and have won everything from Memphis and Made to the American Royal and the sauce categories, some of the cooking categories, and just have had a ball.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. With that Womp Sauce, I hear a lot of talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think our buddy over at Meat Church there, Mr. Pittman.
Yep.
I know that guy a little bit.
Yeah. Former guest of, also former guest on Pit Life. I know he talks about your sauce in a few of his videos.
Yep.
That's awesome. So what is the difference? What is the deal with this Womp Sauce versus your Naked, for example?
Well, the Womp Sauce, both of them are similar flavor profile. They're both kind of rich, thick, sweet Kansas City style. The Womp Sauce has a habanero extract, capsicum that comes and gets you at the back end. So it's nice and sweet and friendly in the beginning, but then it hits you a little bit. It also has that beautiful glaze, like that piano finish, where you're look at the pork, you look at the ribs, and you can almost see a reflection in the meat. Because as you know, I mean, judges, everybody, they eat with their eyes first. So
absolutely,
really wanted to accomplish those things. We thought we nailed it, bottled it, and it's just been an absolute bestseller for us from there on. And the Naked, we kind of just stripped that heat element out, because you'll learn right away that people's palates are different. Someone would be like, I love that Womp Sauce, but my wife and kids, they won't eat it. I'm like, really? It's not that hot, really? So you just kind of learn as you go and make maneuvers from there. So trying to hit all different. I just launched a white sauce, a Carolina mustard sauce, and then a really hot barbecue sauce last week at the Fancy Food Show in Las Vegas. So I'm excited about the future of those 3.
Yeah. So you said a Carolina, was it a mustard sauce, or was it like a vinegar sauce? Or did you say you had both?
It's a mustard. It's like a Carolina Gold.
Carolina
and
Gold.
An Alabama White, and then a real hot barbecue sauce.
I love a good Alabama White. That's the sauce that I probably have the least of.
You want to know what I do?
Is the Alabama.
I make the Alabama white sauce, and I'll use it on chicken or whatever.
Yep.
But I also use it as a dressing.
Yes.
For my pasta salad, my macaroni salad.
Oh. Haven't heard that.
It's fantastic.
We use it as like a dressing over top of our smoked chicken wings at the restaurant. We have like hog fries, these curly fries that are loaded with cheese and with pork and jalapenos, and we'll use that as a drizzle over top of that. So it's pretty universal. It was actually the most popular new item that we had at the show, because people, they're just not accustomed to seeing it. They don't really know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not in the norm. It's extremely underrated sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It doesn't get the recognition that it should.
Everyone knows the Kansas City, the Carolina, the vinegar and the mustard, but it doesn't get as much recognition. But I've had some pretty good friggin' white sauces that are like, why don't I make this more?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or why don't I seek out to purchase? Would you say out of all your sauces is the probably the Kansas City style would be your like that style would be more of your number one seller, and then
Oh yeah, that's the go-to and the number one.
And then probably
seller
the
by
mustard's
far.
coming up, I think, right behind it because people love a good mustard sauce.
Yeah. Chuck, what's happening? Big Rome, Uncle Steve,
what's up,
Lance, what's happening? Eric, what's happening, boys?
What's up, my G's?
Oh, we got quite the crowd today.
Quite the crew today for Meat Mitch.
Nice. Okay, so you started with the restaurants now.
We started with the comps
into the restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
How did you wind up in Paris, France? At a little establishment called Rosie's.
I thought I was going to sneak that one by you.
I got a little inside information.
So it was, I told you that I left TaylorMade to go full-time barbecue and try to open up Meat Mitch Barbecue Restaurant in 2016-17. Well, there was some snafus and some delays, so I knew I had some time on my hands. And there was a chef out of the Char Bar location that said, "Hey, Mitch, I saw this thing on Craigslist." And it was one of this, it said ISO. I didn't even know what that meant. And later, in search of a American barbecue pitmaster that will come to Paris to teach us how to smoke meats. And it had a little paragraph, and he sent it to me, and I, showed it to my family, and everyone was like, "Oh, you should do that." I'm like, "Yeah, right. I'm not going to do that. Like, that's ever going to happen." Well, after about 6 Tito's and sodas on a Friday night, I responded to this thing. And the next morning I was on a Zoom call. I didn't even know what a Zoom call was. I thought Zoom was a pair of sneakers or something.
Yeah, at the time, absolutely.
Yep.
8 days later, this is no lie. 8 days later, I have my own flat in Paris, and I'm living there for a few months on my own, and teaching these guys how to smoke barbecue right on the Seine, right in the middle of Paris and Saint Michel. It was just an incredible time. It really was.
Nice. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the first Kansas City style barbecue to actually hit Europe.
I would guess so. Yeah. I mean, I was making burn ends every night, putting them on trays, walking through the restaurant, having people try them. Their lights or their eyes light up. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Wow. They're like, "This is unbelievable." It was so fun too, because there was also a lot of expats, guys that live over there, and they're coming in and they're getting a Budweiser and a rack of ribs, and they're giving me a hug saying, "Where have you been all my life? You're the greatest dude I've ever met." This is awesome.
So what do they have you smoking on when you go out there? Because you're obviously going out there without any of your equipment, right? So
they had a built-in smoker. It was fantastic. It was a beautiful facility. I think you can probably pull it up on their website and look at it. It had a glass ceiling.
What's the name of it?
That was tilted. The good news, the fortunate part was that the head chef was Kiwi. He was from New Zealand. So he spoke perfect English and showed me around, and boy, did we have some fun for the next couple months. It was awesome.
That is awesome. I'm going to ask you a question. You may not want to tell me your methods, but what is the typical, I'm going to say generally speaking, in Kansas City, to make the burn ends, are you guys separating your points and flats in the beginning, or are you doing it kind of somewhere during the cook, after the cook? What is the typical process out there
we definitely separate the points from the flats.
Okay.
What we find is that burn ends are by far the most popular restaurant item for us. So we wouldn't be able to smoke enough if we didn't buy cases of just points. So we buy cases and cases of points just to keep up with the demand.
Wow.
If that makes sense to you.
And do you inject your points at all, or you just kind of throw
them
right
in competitions I do, but not in the restaurant.
Not in the restaurants.
Yeah.
Yep. And you using is the au jus a big part of afterwards to mix that back in? And using like trays to catch anything, or are we going Texas style with butcher paper? We definitely
have a pan of au jus.
Yeah,
we do it a little differently. A lot of the restaurants will only take the brisket up to about 196, 197 internal, and then run it through a deli slicer. But I'm not into that. So we take it up to 208, let it cool, and then hand carve it, the 1/4 inch thick, the pencil eraser, just like what we do in competition. I think it presents better. It differentiates ourselves a little bit, and it's the best way to eat it.
Eat the burn ends. You carve them into into cubes like that, but like
the flats. No, I was talking about the flats.
Oh, the flats.
The cubes, we do separately, just like what you've seen. And do yourself, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's That's good because there's always in many ways to skin a cat. It's just good to know how they do it at the heart of it all.
Yeah.
You know, when I say the heart of it all, I'm saying for burn ends. I'm not saying that Kansas City is the heart of all barbecue.
Yes,
so
you are.
Let's not go down that road.
Brother Alton will come through
we
this
know
phone right now.
We know Texas is the heart of it all. It's not bullshit.
Oh.
No, I'm not getting in trouble. I'm going to Texas next week. You're not getting me in trouble, Mitch.
I am becoming Switzerland right now.
Hell no. I'm going to the Houston Rodeo Barbecue next week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Meeting Uncle Steve.
Sure, you'll go there, but you won't
Big
come
Rome.
to the Royal.
Well, listen.
I see how you are.
No, I had to pick and choose. Next year, the Royal. Or this year, maybe the Royal. I mean, it's still in the works. It just happens to be, when is the Royal typically? In June?
End of September.
Oh, end of September, which is right in the heart of my catering season. So that's going to be a tough one.
All right.
But we're going to make it happen. That and Memphis and Mayo. Those are two that we
I'll be in
should
Memphis.
go there. And
I'll see you there. You look me up in Memphis.
We should do, Chrissy, if we go, would we be able to tape a show on the site and then you could cut it up and then air it?
I'm sure we could figure it out.
We could figure that out because to have our own booth there.
I mean, you could just
That'd be
take
pretty
me
dope.
with you, but it's fine. I'll stay here.
Do you want to come? You want to do the show live from the spot?
Yeah.
You're gonna bring all your
Guess who wants to come?
You're gonna pack up all your little buttons and shit over there and make it happen?
No, I'll record it. We can go live from there.
It's kind of brilliant. Oh man, I love it. I love the progression of how you started with everything and how it led to these new things. It's always
one leads to snowballs into the next.
It really has been. From a lot of people tell me I did everything backwards because people have a restaurant, then they come out with a sauce, then they write a book. I kind of did I came out with a sauce, then a restaurant, wrote a book, another restaurant. I'm kind of all over the board. But pivot. You got to pivot, right?
But you took risk. You know, you left your full-time gig to go into your passion. And that's a scary leap.
Yeah, there's no net, right?
There's no net. It's like, all right, like I know what I'm doing now. I'm comfortable. I'm making X amount. And well, am I gonna be able to provide for the family? Just kind of leaving what you know for all these years and jumping right into barbecue. And Matt Pittman,
especially when you find out you
thing.
have to pay for your own health insurance.
Well,
that was a big eye opener.
I've been doing that.
I had no idea how much that shit
I've been
cost.
doing that for almost 20 years in the real estate business. I've been covering those tracks.
See, that's why I'm sticking with the post office just a little longer, so that health insurance stays.
Yeah, but I admire that, Mitch, because I mean, like Matt Pittman did the same thing. I mean, he worked in IT, I think, right? And then one day he's like, freaking, barbecue pitmaster show, and next thing you know, I want to do my passion. He left his cushy job.
Yeah, we talked a lot about it together during that transition for both of us.
You hear the story quite a lot. I mean, the guy that owns the Pecan Lodge too, he had a comfy little office job too at one point. And you hear this story regularly. It takes a lot of balls to just jump into your passion. But I guess,
or you might just be stupid.
But you have to be a little bit of both to actually take that risk. Like you said, no safety net, paying your own insurance, because when you do that, now you have no choice. Now you have to make it work.
Right.
But I believe if you love something that much, there's no way you can fail. You may take a step back to take 3 steps forward, but it'll happen. And I'm glad it's happening for you.
Well, thank you.
That's pretty amazing, man. So you're going to talk about the Barbecue Revolution book. I think you were just
That's right. So with all of this going on, you find some time to become an author and come out and publish the Barbecue Revolution. Now, how did that process go? Because, a bunch of our friends have done cookbooks and multiple cookbooks, and from what they say, it is quite the journey, to put it nicely, between the recipes and the pictures, the right photographer, first off, to get everything right. How was that process for you?
Well, I thought it might be too easy, so I decided to do it during COVID. So that way we were doing everything by yourself. I never met my editor. We would just do it through, conference calls, Zoom calls. I really didn't know what I was doing, which gave me, and because of COVID and the inability to get together with the team, it gave me, a lot of autonomy. So I got to kind of do what I wanted to do. But I was approached by a group out of your area, the Harvard Common Press.
Yep.
And they let me pick my photographer, who was kind of a local iconic hero. and just go to work, and was able to use they helped me break it down into the sections of competition barbecue, restaurant stuff, different, chapters, and just attacked it. I mean, it wasn't an overnight deal at all. It took, probably, I would say 13, 14 months to complete it. And then, you write it all, and they send it back to you with like changes, and then you change it back to the way you want it and send it back. And then
I've heard that a bunch of
at
times.
the end, they send you this real pretty book, and you're like, wow, that's what I did. So I got to hand them a lot of credit. They really put it together nicely and helped manage the whole situation. But I'm proud of it. I think it's fun. And I'm, very appreciative to you guys to help me get the word out there about it.
Oh, for sure. Now, is there any specific place that the book is located, or you can get it at your local Barnes and Nobles, your local bookstore, Amazon?
Definitely Amazon. It's a Amazon Editor's Choice and bestseller. Okay. You can get it at meatmitch.com. Of course, I got to plug my own site.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, we would if you didn't.
They're all signed by me. Mm-hmm. And I've got George Brett wrote the foreword. He signed a bunch of them too.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, there's several places around the area that you can, it's easily with the web nowadays, you can have it in 2 days. I'm sure.
I love those interwebs. Does this come with an audio book version?
I think it does. Scratch and sniff.
Scratch and sniff. That's the next technician. I got to market that one
for our attention deficit disorder people here. We love our audiobooks, so we can multitask. But freaking awesome, dude.
So after Paris and after everything with the cookbook, you decide to jump in even further in the restaurant industry and open Meat Mitch.
Yes, we just opened in Leawood, Kansas. Our first day was December 28th. So again, wanting to challenge myself, worldwide pandemic, let's open between Christmas and New Year's and see how that goes. Nothing can be easy. We got to prove ourselves. So we've been opened for about a month and a half. And as everybody's experiencing across the country, staffing's the number one, challenge. Just trying to get enough people in there to work to be open, normal hours. So that's been a challenge, but the reception has been fantastic. I think we're at an A+ location, so I couldn't be more excited about that.
That's huge.
And it's just been a natural extension of Char Bar, and it's been a great ride so far. We're right in the middle of launching this baby, so it's good.
That's awesome.
How big is the restaurant?
It's big. I might as well be in Texas, huh? Everything I got. Meat Mitch is about 6,400 square feet, and then we have about a 3,500 square foot patio that wraps all around it. That has the games, everything from lawn bowling to throwing bags to everything. I like to have a lot of games, a lot of, stuff for families to do, kids to do. Where we're located, there's a lot of churches, schools, rooftops, corporate stuff. It's a big location, lots of TVs, lots of sports. I love sports. And I think you'll dig it when you come out and hang out with me.
Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you got? What are we using for a smoker for the new restaurant?
I've got two. I'm sorry, it was Old Hickory at Rosie's, but this one I've got the 2 Southern Pride XLs, the big ones.
Yep.
But you had asked me, and I couldn't remember what it was, so I avoided you. But it was the Old Hickory that we had in Paris. It was a brand new one. It was beautiful.
I think, from my experiences, I think I get a better product out of an Old Hickory than some of the Southern Prides. What do you think? Is there a big difference between how they both, the type of barbecue that they'll produce? Is there a bunch of difference?
I feel like I get great product out of both.
Nice.
I mean, I like to use a mixture of pecan and cherry, and sometimes a little hickory.
That's my next question.
I think we get great smoke rings. They're dependable units, both of them. So I like them equally.
Nice. Good to know. Do you specifically pick one over the other for certain meats? Like your brisket's got to go in the Old Hickory or
the Southern Prides are nice because they're big. I mean, we're going to be doing big volume, and you need to be able to handle that action. So that's why I went with those.
Nice. That's exciting. You haven't trouble getting any supplies, stuff that's sitting in shipping containers in the middle of the ocean
Yeah.
or anything? Or are you
Our
good to go?
east exterior wall never came in.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Are you the whole wall of the restaurant?
Of the building.
Just getting held up by temporary jacks at the moment?
So we have temporary screens up there.
God.
They're telling us it'll get here by March. It's been unbelievable.
Just a wall. There's some people like,
Just a wall. Just
waiting for
just
certain
your
equipment,
exterior
waiting
wall.
for an actual
Hey.
load-bearing wall here.
Hey, look at it
what
this
it
way.
is.
You got great ventilation.
Yeah, right.
You know, let that smoke roll for sure.
No, that's good. No, but it sounds like you got some good outdoor seating, which is huge in the new restaurant world. You can't really open up a restaurant without outdoor seating these days.
No,
It's got to be part of the business plan. You got to have that. And I love that you have the games and everything. I mean, that's
Yeah, and through COVID, we redesigned our vestibule like 4 times just to make it big, have a huge to-go window, build the line behind the window to really be prepared to do a large portion of our business is carry out, and it has been. I mean, that has been big time.
To-go window is big too. To-go window. I like that. I need to get a to-go window.
You'll have to check out on my
to-go
Instagram. In that vestibule, I have a chandelier of Weber kettle grills, the lids upside down,
Stop
all
it.
colors and
You had that
sizes
made? You had that
that
custom
hang
made?
at different levels and
Dude.
light up. So you
Oh,
look
that's
up and
awesome.
It's like you're in the Bellagio looking up. You see all these different
The
colors,
colors,
spheres,
that
everything
is
going on.
cool.
Oh, that's wild.
Wait, so you use the lids underneath of the lids?
We use the lids,
and
the
holes
different sizes and every color they made, and then just extended them down from the ceiling at different levels.
That's dope. Oh, wow.
It's pretty
That's
badass.
cool.
That's pretty innovative. That you get the little
That's what we do at
get
Meat
the
Mitch.
decorative bulbs underneath them and everything. That's pretty cool.
Innovation. I love it. I love it.
Jeez, that is fun, man.
I love it.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, right? MEAT, meet you, right?
So between the couple different videos and stuff we've seen you in, one that stands up at least in our area is the one you, George Brett, and the local boy from here from Barstool Sports, El Prez himself, Dave Portnoy.
Everyone knows the rules.
You boys had some fun on that one. How did that go down? And especially Dave does. Everybody, if you don't know, Dave owns Barstool Sports and has cornered or taken by storm the pizza market.
One bite, everyone knows the rules.
One bite, everyone knows the rules. And his, he'll go countrywide, checking out different pizza shops and, rates them. And each one, kind of blows up after the fact. It brings in. Hey, did you have that kind of experience with this? Or is it still on the up climb?
So I'll tell you, I think it was maybe 2018. And I wasn't familiar with Barstool Sports. I mean, I'm totally into sports, but I did not know anything about what they were doing. I wasn't really into that media segment. And my nephew, who was in college, calls me and he says, "Hey, Mitch," he goes, "I think there's an unbelievable opportunity for you to go on this thing called Barstool Sports." He's like, "If you tell them that you'll bring George Brett with you, I bet they let you on." I'm like, "Well, yeah, no shit. I mean, that's going to be an easy task,
Little celebrity
So
bait.
I waited around, and a few weeks later, I was hanging out with George, and I said, "Hey," I said, "we've got this opportunity. I don't know if you're interested, if you ever heard about it, but I'd like to take you to New York City and go on, spend a day with Barstool Sports." He goes, "Get the fuck out of here." He goes, "I got that app on my phone. Those guys are funnier than shit."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, "Really? You'll do it?" He goes, "Let's go." So I'm like, "All right, right on." So I let my nephew know. And next thing we know, we are on a plane flying to New York City. And I think at that time they had about 74 employees. I brought burn ends, ribs, brisket for everybody. And everybody's just walking around their headquarters, filming and doing stuff. And, beforehand, I had warned George a little bit because I got some intel that said, that they're going to talk about hemorrhoids, about shitting his pants. They're going to talk about everything under the sun. And I'm like, "Are you okay with that?" And he's like, "I think I can handle myself, Mitchy boy. I think I can handle myself." I'm like, "All right, right on. Let's go." So we go, and sure as shit, I mean, we're not even there 10 minutes, and these guys are writing these little scripts, and they're like, skits, and they're like, "Hey, George, come back in this room with us." And now the beads of sweat are starting to come down my head. I don't know what they're going to do to him in there. I don't know what's going to happen. But they go in this room and shut the door. So I'm kind of keeping it out of the corner of my eye while I'm slicing brisket and I'm doing everything. And they come out about 45 minutes later laughing. And so immediately I'm relieved a little bit. So he comes over. I go, what did you do? And he goes, well, those two knuckleheads put on diapers. One put turkey chili in his diaper and the other one put beef chili. And it was my job to pick which one was the turkey and which one was the beef. So the next thing you know, they come over, they say, George, hey, come over here, George. So he goes over and they recreated, you can watch this on YouTube.
This is where I was going.
They recreate the scene of the pine tar incident.
The home run,
so famous for. So they put my Womp Sauce on a keyboard and they put George down in front of the keyboard to write what is a blog. And the headline is just hysterical. It's dirty, but you can, like, I haven't been swearing already, sorry. But you can see it. It's absolutely hysterical. And they recreate, coming up to the mound and checking the bat, everything. And, ultimately they call George out and he comes running out of the dugout, all furious, going crazy. They're all holding him back. So they hold up the keyboard after they all confer. And they look at George and they're like, you can't write this blog. You're out. And he comes racing like a bat out of hell out of them. They're grabbing him, holding him back. The guy, this is one take. It was absolutely perfect. Yeah, you have to watch it. One take. When they yelled cut, the guy holding the keyboard, he released so much breath and anxiety in his body. He thought George was going to really rip his head off. It was absolutely hysterical.
Oh, I saw really that, and that. I was dying laughing.
And then after that, we jumped in the car, George and I, in Portnoy, and spent a day driving around. You can imagine, just to get a couple of blocks in New York City takes an hour. And we got to this pizza place where they filmed the One Bite Challenge. And I got to participate in it, and he put my burn ends on it. Oh, and then and perfect Portnoy style, he dumps off the burn end before he takes a bite of pizza and said, "Do you think I'm going to fucking eat a piece of pizza with burn end on it?"
That's pretty typical.
And then to his testament, he goes down, reaches down, picks the burn end up off the ground, and eats it, and gives it a 9.9, which is the highest score that he's ever given anything on the show.
Oh, that is awesome, man. George Cato, what's up, brother? Oh, man.
Fantastic.
Mitch, this has been awesome. Unfortunately, we are up against it. It goes quick, man.
It does.
I'm sitting here looking at his voice. I'm like, oh, my God, really?
We're upstairs of Two Guys Smoke Shop at the podcast studio, and they close at 6. So they lock us in, and my wife gets mad when I have to sleep out at the cigar shop.
Hopefully you have a liquor cabinet in there.
Oh, we know where it's hidden.
We know where. I know exactly where it is. Yeah. But Mitch, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Pleasure. Yes.
Thank you, boys.
Eventually I get it out. But where can everyone find you on all the social medias, website, all that?
Yeah, just easy as Meat Mitch, MEAT Mitch, MITCH.com, Instagram, Facebook, on my website. You can get the book, BBQ Revolution, which is fun. I also ship burn ends. I ship all the proteins prepackaged to you.
Amazing.
Across the country, and then sauces and rubs and everything. So we're here waiting for you.
That's awesome. Why don't you plug the location of your new restaurant as well?
It's in Leawood, Kansas at 95th and Mission in the Ranch Mart Center.
All right, all you Kansas locals, you hear that? Go check out Meat Mitch and his new restaurant.
Hell yeah.
And play some lawn sports while you're there.
Nice to meet you.
Hell yeah.
And then if you're looking for work, he might have a wall he needs to put up in a couple months.
And he might need a load-bearing wall while you're there. So calling all contractors.
Well, Mitch, thank you, brother. This was awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
All right.
Hey, why don't you hang out just one second while we do the outro.
Okay. Awesome, brother.
That was
awesome.
Fun.
Oh,
that
so fun. So fun. It was funny because I was going to bring up the George Brett story. Oh, it was hilarious. You know the story. Oh, you're not a big sport guy.
Well, but I know the story.
You ever see the high? When he grunts it. Oh,
yeah.
They recreated it perfect with the keyboard just
I'll have
dripping
to check that out. How are we so blessed to have such great guests on the show.
Awesome.
Though?
They're reaching out. It's mind blowing.
It really is.
You know, people start to make my job easy.
Yeah, kind of. Because
I'm just sitting here opening emails. Hey, you want? Yes, I do.
We don't just come here on a Tuesday, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. There's actually work that we got to do. Well, we do that. But there's actually work that we have to do during the week. You don't know how many emails we might send out trying to get some good content for the show.
Oh, yeah.
As much as we know you guys could sit here for 45 minutes and, you know, we're easy on the eyes. We understand that.
That's right.
But still, we know good content also rules. So,
yep. So next week
is
up in the air again.
Always.
But...
Not always, but
who knows? Because technically next week's Monday's a holiday, so my Tuesday can be all screwed up.
Ooh.
But I had reached out to 3 people last night. Got all 3 responses of definites. We're just working out the dates.
Okay.
Of Rub Bagby from Swamp Boys out of Florida.
Okay.
Who was on BBQ Pit Masters.
Yep. I remember that.
Lee Hickle out of Texas.
Okay.
IBCA Team of the Year.
Beautiful.
Amongst everything in the Barbecue Champs Academy series.
Yes. Yep.
And
great videos.
Some Texas barbecue royalty of Mama and Papa Joe's, Papa Joe himself, Clarence Joseph, which I believe you're probably going to have a chance to meet next week.
Oh.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Oh, he's awesome.
I can't wait.
I could listen to him for hours.
Beautiful.
He's such a great guy.
I'm pumped.
But yeah, so we're just going to work out those dates. And
that's it.
But that's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You'll have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. On social media, find us at all the links listed down below. Questions and comments, please send them to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, rate and review, hit that share button. Almost did it in one breath. What do we got here? Greg
Junior says, I'm only using eyes when we're wearing that yellow T-shirt. That's what it is. If you know,
listen,
you know.
If you think it's easy on the eyes on the TV, it's not so easy on the eyes sitting here and live in person, live in living color. But on that note, till next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.